and welcome to another broadcast of Comic Book Reviews. I'm your host, Kevin Given. Before we get into our first review, I want to remind you that if you love comic books, you're going to subscribe to my channel. Subscribe! Now let's get into our first comic book review. Here it is, folks, the conclusion to the Perfect Storm storyline. Who is the new Scarecrow? Why is Terry attacking Bruce? Who will discover Batman's secret identity in this issue? Action-packed and all questions answered. Energy-fueled as most fans like it. This is a must-have for all Batman fans, and the issue opens with action from page 1, which doesn't let up until the final page. And now let's look at the creative team. Dan Jurgens shows us his strengths as an action writer in this impressive issue. It begins with Gotham City in a Scarecrow-induced uproar and ready to spill the Batman's blood. Jurgens draws us into this story by showing us a Batman near complete helplessness as he's falling, and everyone, including Robin, seems to want him dead. The only friend he seems to have is Melanie Walker, 10 in her superhero guise. For some reason, she's free from the Scarecrow's influence. Jurgens puts the Batman in a seemingly inescapable predicament, and we readers are glued to each page, wanting to see how Terry gets out of this quandary. Great stuff includes Bruce Wayne realizing how the new Scarecrow is executing this mass hysteria, and how Robin comes to realize his mistake. Will Conrad brings us some intense scenes, and the gates to Arkham have never looked better. Some of his angles make us wonder exactly what's happening, but that's a good thing. It helps to keep us guessing throughout this issue. His realistic style helps to flesh out future Gotham in a strong way, and he keeps things flowing quickly, which matches Jurgens' storytelling style to a T. Highlights include the splash of Terry McGinnis, Batman falling to the ground, and the battle between Matt and Terry. In conclusion, action fans will find this a thrilling, intense ride and a completely satisfying comic book through and through. Some may feel that it's a bit rushed, especially the ending, but no one can deny that this story reaches a dramatic conclusion that ties up all the loose ends. No cliffhangers, and it will leave the reader with a sense of completion, and yet make us eager for what's to come in the next issue. I found this to be a satisfactory issue all in all. 3.5 stars and 8.3 rating from this comic book reviewer. And now the second review on this program, Vampirella meets Deja Thoris, number 1. Anyone who's read my comic reviews for the past couple of years knows that I really enjoy my team-ups and intercompany crossovers. I don't know why, but that's just how I am, I guess. This issue begins on the world of Barsoom, where the city's astronomers have detected a starship en route to one of their cities. Looking at the creative team, Eric Burnham wastes no time in putting our heroine directly into the action. Thoris volunteers to check out the situation, and the planet's scientific and military leaders immediately object to her investigating this situation, citing every possibility of what could go wrong. Burnham brings the reader into this story by creating action scenes and outing our heroine in peril. Deja is put in a position where she must trust the invader by having Vampirella save her life. But then the attack becomes personal, creating doubt at first as to Vampirella motivation. This compels us to continue reading as we question why she saved Deja in the first place. Great stuff includes the first encounter, our two heroines, and the comparison of the two worlds, Barsoom and Dracula. Idiana Silva effortlessly combines the two worlds and does justice to the characters of both. One of the strengths is that he can capture and even create foreign landscapes as well. The rich colors, Janae Ribeiro brings this intense artwork and enhances these images 100-fold. Silva's artwork is so much stronger with the right colorist, and he goes above and beyond the call of duty, helping to show each character's strengths and depth of perception within the confines of the single panel, bringing sagacity and contrast to these worlds, which are rich and vibrant in so many ways. The careful attention to detail leads us to believe that these are actual worlds to be discovered. Vampirella and Deja Thoris really complement each other. They are two beautiful characters that should have teamed up long before now. Highlights include the attack of the White Eight and the final page splash, which promises that issue 2 will be far more action-packed than this issue was. In conclusion, the action heats up in this issue, which is unusual for a first chapter of a story. Usually there's a lot of necessary exposition that this issue doesn't need. Pure fun from the get-go. Of course, it doesn't take a genius to figure out who that alien starship belongs to. But is she friend or foe? Their first meeting is an uneasy one, to say the least. But the inhabitants of the world of Barsoom have been warned. To be continued. The writer is Eric Burnham, the artist is Idiana Silva, the publisher, of course, is Dynamite Comics. And that was our nutshell review for this week. I'm Kevin Given. Join us next time as we review more comic books from the worlds of Marvel, DC, Dynamite, IDW, Top Cow, and many, many more. Until next time, this is Kevin Gibbons saying, keep on reading those comics.